Hi, everybody, and welcome again to our amazing 30-day challenge. We are today on day 20. Congratulations to all of you that have made it to day 20. What an amazing feat that is to be meditating daily and to be doing this work. I have received so many amazing emails from you guys that have been really feeling the progress and the healing with some of these techniques. So please do share with your friends if you feel that this is something that has really assisted you in some way. And today we're going to be talking about a really important topic that I always get questions about, of course, being an empath, but more importantly, how to own your space. Specifically, when we're dealing with so much information overload, so many interactions, so many things that are occurring outside of us, how does one maintain their grounding, maintain their connection to themselves, the awareness of what's happening to themselves, and know how to take back their power or the empowerment when they need it, instead of becoming completely depleted of their life force energy in any kind of interaction with people, in places and environments that we're in. Really maintaining those boundaries. And these boundaries go deeper than just exchanges, physical exchanges, but energetic, which is actually the most important thing, because we are constantly surrounded by things like entities, beings, other thought forms that are manifesting around us. And also, we are also intersecting timelines constantly. Depending on our vibrational frequency, we're tuning in and attracting certain events to come enter into our timeline. And so for that reason, anytime that we're unaware or we forget about the body, we begin to go and, let's say, reset back into old patterns of behavior and calling back into the timeline, reinforcing what is already present in our genetics. The genetic code, our blueprint of creation, is constantly informing the experiences that we're having. Remember, so and this is because we're basically on autopilot. We're completely unaware of ourselves and we completely forget about ourselves in those experiences, and therefore we just completely just react and are in hypnosis. We are hypnotized in these experiences throughout our day. So anytime that something comes up that begins to trigger, and it will come up. It will come up because that's what we're here to do. As souls that embody into the physical body, the idea is that we are evolving. Evolving. We are becoming whole again through the human experience. We are remembering who we are, despite all the experience of separation that we're here to perhaps explore momentarily in this physical body, with the families that we have, with the experiences that we have, with all of the identities that we've created for ourselves. All of those things are limiting beliefs that reinforce certain belief systems that are not just your own. They are things that are created and adopted by our environment, through our lineages, and of course through our fears and our own personal limitations with ourselves. So our belief systems play an incredible role, an incredibly huge influence in the kind of things that you're experiencing at a daily basis. So if you're in a constant state of survival and you're resisting and you're really hoping to protect yourself at all times from things, or afraid of seeing something that you're not prepared to see, or hear something you're not prepared to hear, or hear the latest terrible news that's going to come out for the general public. So this is actually a time of training and preparation for the collective. We need to begin to prepare ourselves by training and understanding what it means to be human. The human lifespan of perhaps 100 years, maybe 100 years, right? If we take care of ourselves. But within this small, tiny little flash of light, tiny little flash of moment that we have in this body with these experiences, every single movement is not just affecting you and your immediate experiences and your emotions and the reality that you created around you. But you have to understand that you are a cell, part of an organism that's much greater than that. We are interconnected to much larger, the humanity. And the human race is one organism. One organism made up of many little cells, many little humans that are experiencing different things, but all within this human experience. And the reason why we come in to this very physical life, this very physical experience, is to experience contrast. So how are we informed as to what kind of contrast we're going to experience? At the end of the day, it doesn't actually even matter the kind of contrast we're experiencing, because at the end of the day, it's just contrast. We're just here to experience that. The name of the contrast, the design of the contrast, the architecture of the contrast, the people that play a role in that contrast, the identities that we create for ourselves within that contrast, the families, okay, money, no money, abundance, rich, successful careers, not successful careers, highly spiritually advanced, not spiritually advanced. All of those things are part of the construct of this temporary moment that simply allow us to experience contrast. And so once we begin to become aware of that as just those experiences that we can move quickly through, we can begin to kind of understand what this organism is here to do. Because our experiences go beyond that. We're here for beyond that. We are here in order to activate this organism, see if we can activate it in this lifetime. And if we don't activate it in this lifetime, we come back. We come back into this because we are a match to this. We're in resonance. We're in resonance to experiencing once again. And the funny thing is that on the highest level, the subconscious, the really unconscious subconscious aspect of ourselves is still sensing and savoring the physical and emotional contrast aspect of this experience. So it's going to want to feel that again. It comes back into the reincarnation cycle. So as little by little, this is only one fragment of many fragments of yourself. Remember that you have infinite fragments of yourself that are experiencing other dimensional planes. So when we become aware in this one, we have the opportunity to reintegrate with as many fragments as possible. We reintegrate from fragments by healing, by reintegrating. And we reintegrate from those fragments by becoming aware. And any kind of darkness or shadow that might be available. One moment, let me just, I forgot to share this. Anybody that is watching, if you guys would like to share, please do share so that more can join us. Hi, everybody. Much love to you guys. Thank you for being here. But, the more that we embody this, this attachment to the little contrast and the stories that are being created within this tiny, tiny limited experience, it's harder for the body to move beyond this fragment of experience. And the idea is that as we become whole more and more, we are reintegrating all of the fragments of ourselves. Okay, fragments of ourselves in past lives. Let's say the Cleopatra, the Alexander the Great, the one that was a slave, the aspect of ourselves that was embodied as, let's say, a very powerful magician, or I don't know, Thoth, or some magnificent being in our history, in our archetypal kind of design of the humans that we're here to experience. We are all cycling through all of those archetypes at some point. This is why in hypnotherapy, when we're doing past life regression, we recognize these archetypes and we put names on them. We say, oh, I was King Arthur. I was, Cleopatra. I was this person from the Round Table, or something like this, right? So we identify with those. And a lot of times we are still expressing those aspects of ourselves in this lifetime. What is that telling us? That's telling us the areas that we need to develop. All of the stories of these famous archetypes in history are basically showing us the strengths and weaknesses of this organism at that time. And this is a collective event. We are all experiencing that part of humanity. We're all experiencing being on the highest levels as well as the lowest levels. Again, it's contrast. And many of us have had so many lives here that we've probably run the gamut. We've been everything. We've been everything. And some of us go in very high levels, right? Because we've spent lives where we remembered the self, we remembered that we were more than just a story, and we began to reintegrate fragments of ourselves. And the moments that we begin to reintegrate fragments of ourselves, that's when we begin to tap into the real fun of being a human, which is that divine creator, the creator of the highest levels. We begin to play in the astral plane. We begin to awaken on those levels and begin to integrate the highest aspect of ourselves into the physical. And overall, the organism benefits from that awakening because we are able to anchor more of that light into the physical body. We anchor healing. This body becomes a magnificent vessel for healing, vitality, manifestation, and co-creation of the highest conscious level, because the highest conscious level is that respects free will, and it is that is always aware of the whole, not just self-serving. It's not something that is only self-serving, that chooses to do things only that's good for themselves. It chooses to do things for the collective. And the only way we can get to that point, the problem is a lot of people, they become enamored with the idea of being that service to others without having the time to develop the self, without having to create strong foundations and a real deep understanding of what it is to be a creator. Because the creator has to be able to see the shadows of themselves completely to the depth of everything that we have been and we are. And once we begin to go through our current life experiences, you see those repetitive patterns. We talked about that. You see all those repetitive patterns. You begin to go into your past lives. And that's where the work of the light worker begins to reintegrate its fragments from all dimensional planes. Past lives are fragments of yourself in other dimensional planes. They can be very high dimensions, they can be very low dimensions, and they can manifest as humans or extraterrestrials or light beings. Whatever it is that we have experienced before, we have explored, there's aspects of ourselves that need to become aware. They need to remember, not just this body, but we need to remember all of them. We need to become aware of them, because in each one of those fragments is a wisdom that allows this vessel to continue its navigation through the cycle of evolution. And once it begins to remember itself in those different dimensional planes, you activate something within you. This is why people experience activation of psychic abilities. For example, in my own experience, when I had an abduction or contact experience, not necessarily abduction, you begin to realize that immediately upon coming back, because I entered a different dimensional plane, all of these abilities came online. And all of those abilities came online for the purpose of going into what we're doing here today, the work that we do, what we talk about, why. And all of us have this timer within us that if we don't go into that evolutionary work at some point, we end up into the law of accident. The law of accident occurs when the divine organism has to create wake-up calls. It's like setting the alarm. And when we miss the alarm and we hit the snooze button, right? We go back into hypnosis, back to the shopping sprees, back to the games, back to the friends, families, people want to drink, and completely disconnect from the source, from that infinite wisdom. They want to negate that as a part of themselves, as a truth. Maybe they go into self-hate. Maybe they doubt so deeply. Anything that causes that disconnect from what we truly are innately is the snooze button that will eventually cause the alarm to go off. And this is the law of accident. The law of accident defines that an event will occur to create a shock in the system. And that shock in the system can be I don't know, some event that occurs to you. You're lost a ton of money. Somebody steals your wallet. Somebody does something to you. You get into a car accident. You have some terrible event happen to you. And all of these things are occurring in order for the soul to wake up, have an opportunity to remember, to recall what they're supposed to be doing at that moment. Because it's not about a mission as much as it is as the natural evolutionary health of yourself as an organism, because the entire multiverse is moving. If you could see it, if I could show you what it looks like, it's spheres within spheres within spheres that are swifting and moving in a trajectory of an infinity loop, but also in a spiral at the same time. And as all of these organisms are moving, it is a fractal within a fractal of this design. The awakening, that expansion that happens the moment someone begins to come online. You come online when you remember yourself. When you forget yourself, you're a dormant little hypnotized organism that basically becomes a host to other parasites. Okay? And you also become a parasite because you reject your own consciousness in which you need to feed off something else. And you feed off events that stimulate the lower frequencies, emotions, dramas, sufferings, pain, anxieties. All of those things are experiences that the lower bodies and parasites feed off of because they're very dense, they're very heavy, they're thick frequencies. But the higher levels, the higher you go, the faster your vibrational frequency is moving. And that fast vibrational frequency is the entryway into entering into the higher dimensional planes of information. It's the invitation and the re-education of yourself as something way more than just this physical body in this temporary physical experience. So the ability to reintegrate those parts of us is essential to the health of the organism. Because again, the moment we begin to go back into dormant sleep, this is where we start having chaos in our life. And it can be little tiny things that we think, oh, it just happens. There's no such thing as something that just happens. Everything is a sequence of cause and effect. If you would zoom out of this planet Earth into the universe, you would realize that everything, you have no idea how many things have to happen in order for you to exist, down to the molecular level, to the chemical level, to the spark of life that is created within you. The fact that your parents came together, the specific parents with this specific energy, lineages encoded within their genetic code in order to create you. And you navigating your life with the resonance, the vibrational frequency that makes you a perfect match for the network that you're involved in, the work that you're doing, the emotions that you have, the artistic desires, or let's see, what is it called? Inspirations that you have. All of those things are timelines waiting to be expressed. And the moment you wake up, come online, you have the ability to play on that playground of creation. But until you come in online, you're in the law of accident, where it's just sleepy person becoming awake, hopefully at some point. So this is where we begin to look at our relationship with our environment. Because there's no accidents, we are in resonance either to the laws of accident or the laws of creation. Okay? And so this, when we talk about boundaries, when we talk about owning our space, when we begin to remember these things, you begin to realize that everything that's here within your body, this is the creative engine right here, this physical body, and the awareness that we are an incredibly large organism, multidimensionally connected. And our source, our highest self, has the ability of coming online and bringing in some creation. All of that is available to you as you begin to wake up. And so when we own the space, everything that's within the sphere, we imagine in GPAC, grounding, protecting, aligning, co-creating which is the crown chakra, when we turn on the crown chakra, this is where we begin to actually create from the highest level instead of from the lowest level. And we can be down here at all times. We can be down here all the time. But the problem is that you're in abiding by the laws of accident rather than the laws of creation. And so when we merge, right, this is what creates this incredible centrifugal energy as you begin to expand and become aware that the entire body begins to rotate into this vortex motion, from stagnation into vortex motion. And we are attaching to the next vortex motion above us. So the energy moves literally like an infinity sign through the body. We know the caduce, right? How the caduce functions. The energy is spiraling up our spinal cord through the chakras. The chakras are vortices that are both rotating in different directions, creating motions so that energy can move through the meridian lines of the body. And so wherever we have stagnation, there will not be this flow. When the flow is moving through the physical body, that's when we begin to activate our abilities, our gifts. We're clearing out as much as that deprogramming, the hypnosis deprogramming, right? Programming of hypnosis that we have deeply embedded within our genetic code. Because when we incarnate into the body, we're not just cleaning up our own little life. Our life is a product of centuries on a, let's say, a linear timeline, which is not linear. Again, it's like a sphere. We are simultaneously accessing all of the fragments of our ancestors, which are fragments of ourselves. And so that's everything that we are here to clear up. And we come into these family lineages specifically to provide an opportunity for the ancestors, the fragments of ourselves, to come back online, to reintegrate as an organism, as a whole. So that's why this work is so important, and it really, really helps us in how we are progressing in our healing. So today we're going to work on an exercise of becoming aware of yourself, owning your space. And this is something that I really want you to practice actually with your eyes open. Okay, we're going to do this exercise with our eyes open. All right, so first I want to say hi to everybody. I'm so happy to have you guys here. Hi, Divine Love. Hi, Luana. So good to see you. Pono, so good to see you. Multiverse, holographic multiverse. Yes, sir. Cedric. Hi, JP official. What if one were to reach a high level of knowledge and intelligence that the brain cannot handle it and the brain panics and dies? Well, when we talk about die, we just need to remember that in reality there is no death. You need to understand there is no death of anything. All it is energy that is reallocating from one thing to the next, first of all. Second of all, that being said, if you begin to awaken your mind and begin to access information, this is something actually that can occur to people that awaken up their mind. And sometimes it happens a lot with people that are doing, maybe sometimes doing plant medicine, that they're tuning into some of this information too quickly and don't give themselves enough time to reintegrate. Then people can end up with things like schizophrenia and other mental disorders that don't allow them to integrate properly. That's why, when you use that plant medicine, it's like jumping into this realm where if you don't have any preparation, it might be too overwhelming for you. So a lot of things can happen to that effect. But in the same way, we have that same chemical in the brain naturally without using those things, right? So in the natural realm, when you're downloading this information, and it has happened, it's actually experienced something similar myself when I first began accessing all this information. It is so beyond this planet, beyond our understanding, that you come to a point where you're like, if I even begin to explain this to someone, I mean, first of all, they're not going to care, because it is so high up there in regards to the level of understanding of our universe that it doesn't even apply to this life. It has nothing to do with this life, because this life is only for experiencing contrast. So, the thing is to take a look at what you need from that information. And anytime that the emotions begin to come and get involved in that kind of information, then you're going to be biased. Then there's going to be an imbalance in how you're receiving that information. So always maintaining a neutrality, because again, the emotions are limited thought forms. They're there to give us information about things, but once we're done getting information, we have to move on. It's not meant to sit. So it's actually the emotions that could cause any kind of chaos or brain overwhelm of any kind in this kind of spiritual work. The idea is to never get attached to anything, never become identified to any of the information that you're receiving. Always observe and watch and keep moving, keep evolving. You're nothing. We're not stagnant with anything. We just continue moving. And that's kind of the gift and the wonderful lessons of impermanence that we learn. And it's very much talked about. All the ancient sages of our history talk about that. Everyone from Zen and Buddhist and many, Eastern thought, schools of thought talk about this, how we have to continue evolving, not becoming identified with anything. And that neutrality is actually one of the most powerful things to be. Very good. So let's go to the next question. Hey, Pono. Hey, Latonatzine. So good to see you. Mary Bon, thank you so much. What if some type of higher echelon of being are living remotely through us? Yeah, and that very well can happen. That very well can happen, and it does happen. It happens that people begin to channel information sometimes or receive messages. And the question is, we need to utilize our discernment. Who are you connecting with? If you are at a vibration of doubt anywhere in your system, the subconscious mind that you're not even aware of, you can be a match to some of these parasitic aspects of yourself. That's why the awareness of the self is very important on the deepest level, taking time, that self-love of caring for the self, to take moments to connect with the self and really train our intuition to be able to discern what is in alignment with you and what is not. Larissa Cruz, so good to see you. Yay, my first live. Hello from MC. So good to see you. Welcome. RR2, I'm late. Hi, everyone. Hey. Synchronization at its finest. So awesome to see you. Very good. All right, Larissa, so good. Yes, why? Totally questioning why I have to do the work. Oh, really? Okay. I hope this kind of helps a little bit. Pana, Gertrude Resfayal, thanks for sharing. Thank you for being here. Andre Luis, hola Geraldine, qué gusto ver tu directo. Muchas gracias por estar aquí, André. Muchas gracias. Larissa Cruz, to do all the work, why couldn't we have at least some of the remembering so that we can comprehend it in our human understanding? Well, you know what? Actually, if you're here listening to this, if you're here searching, it's clear that you're a seeker and a light worker. You're asking all the right questions. You have these questions about life, and it's actually those questions that are the little markers that we place as seeds within us. The higher self places those questions as seeds within us in order to grow and to remember. And as a child, we remember a lot. We are quite open, incredibly open, but we are programmed, as children. And until the age of 7, we've already adopted most belief systems from our mothers and fathers, and they really design the way we're going to behave with how we interact with the feminine and masculine, internally and externally, how we see ourselves, how we see the world outside of us, how we see the opposite sex, how we see the same creation energy with others. So this is where we begin to kind of get lost, and then the hormones kick in and takes it even into another direction of disconnect, because we fail to have the proper education. This is why it's so important right now for us to begin to teach our children about these things. They are not too complex for them. They intuitively understand the work that I do holographic, hypnotherapy and DNA reprogramming with children. And those are the most incredible sessions. they actually are faster. The kids don't even need to think about the emotions. They know it. It's unbelievable, their awareness of themselves and their emotions. Children as early as 5, 6 years old are capable of identifying themselves and becoming aware. It's so beautiful. So if we cultivate this in our societies and our families, if we maintain meditation practice for them to return to that stillness and make that stillness a home, they will be able to have the tools necessary to discern, and hopefully through that training, through that awareness and education, not continue to take on our flaws, our survival beliefs, our blockages that we have. And also as parents, becoming aware of our blockages so that when they're triggered, because they will be with our children, catching ourselves in that moment and teaching, making each one of those moments an opportunity to show the new human, to show the new way of being, which is completely connected, right? And so this is why it's so important right now to begin to do this. But we very much come in awake. And the work that we're doing right now, we already know it. All you're doing is just remembering. You're being reminded by the things that you hear. And if you're here, you've definitely done a lot of this work in your past life. And you're just coming in to do more of it now. So thank you so much for that, Larissa. Andres says, me han felicitado mucho por la entrevista que hicimos sobre hibridación y abducción. Wow, that's amazing. Andres says, I was so congratulated for the interview that we did about hybridization program and abduction. So that's amazing. If anybody wants to check that out on Andres' channel, check that out. He has some really great content. It's all Spanish. So if you're Spanish speaking, check it out. You're going to love his stuff. He's a great researcher. Larissa says, oh yes, currently deschooling minds, mostly for me. Yep. I know, my love, but you're so great. So much love to you. Thank you for your light and what you're doing. Very good. All right, my love, let's get started. JP Official says chakra practices should be for adults only. That's interesting. I would love to hear your opinion as to why, because the chakras are the endocrine system and the emotional system. So if we don't teach our children how to manage the emotions, they can go into a lot of trouble when they go into the hormonal stages of development. And that's exactly what happens. They are completely manipulated by the entertainment industry through patterns of vibrational frequency that are designed to manipulate at a young age belief systems and imprint within their very young, impressionable minds all kinds of programs about shame, guilt, sexuality, the inversion of all the truths and all what is natural. So to teach them actually what the chakras is actually an imperative thing to help them understand what they're dealing with when they begin to feel stimulated by the music that they're listening to, when they begin to listen and know the difference between high vibration music and low vibration music. Children can feel that, right? Because when you hear something uplifting, for example, it begins to expand. You have a heart opening, and it's not an emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation starts in the roots, sacral, solar, okay? And so a feeling of helplessness and just sorrow begins to enter into the body, victimization of the self without fully understanding. So that's very heavily manipulated for children. So that's something that we need to become aware of. Children already have a higher consciousness from the bottom, 6, 7 years old. That's right. They already do. Nice. All right. My spiritual child is my number one teacher. I'm shaking from the immense resonance. Thank you, Geraldine. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. And I have a lot of, parents that talk about how their children really are just waking them up. And that's what they're for. Remember, we come into our lineages in order to shake things up, to heal our ancestral lineage. You're here to do that for your parents and them, and your child is here to do that for you. So that's so beautiful. So let's get started with our exercise. We're going to start by inhaling deeply and exhaling. And with every breath you take, allowing yourself to calm, bring yourself into your body. We're going to just take a moment to become aware of our body. And again, we're doing this with our eyes open today. Okay, because this is kind of now going into more practical everyday exercise. Okay, so with your eyes open, you're going to take your attention down to your feet. Going up to your ankles. Going up to your shins, your calves, your knees. Taking your attention to your body, becoming aware of your body. Notice how your body and your attention of your senses have to readjust because you're doing this with your eyes open. Okay? And it might take a second because you have to kind of focus in on the body. So this is the remembrance of the self that we need to practice throughout our day. You're going to go up to the knees. You're going to go up to the thighs. You're going to go up to the hips. Breathing deeply. You're going to go up to the solar plexus with your eyes open, becoming aware of the emotions that are currently in your body. And breathing. What are the sensations that are in the body right now? You might all of a sudden become aware of parts of yourself that you weren't aware before, of emotions that you didn't know you were feeling. So let's acknowledge everything that we're feeling in the body with our eyes open. And all the areas, every little muscle in the body that feels tight, every little area of the body that feels like it's resisting or holding on to tension or holding something together, that's the area that you want to pay attention to. And as you acknowledge it, it begins to become aware and release the tension in that space. Automatically will release. And the awareness is not a judgment, it's an observation. You are observing what is happening in those parts. Notice if your body wants to fidget, if it doesn't want to stay still. And breathe through it. Reallocating that high energy that is there through the breath as you release. Going up into the chest. Notice how you're breathing. Is it limited breathing? Are you doing tiny little upper chest breathing where you're not really paying attention to the breath entering into the base of the spine? Or are you breathing all the way down to the base of the spine? Mindfully aware that the oxygen that enters the body is bringing life force into the body, into all the organs, bringing oxygenation to all of the parts of the body. Going up into the back, into the shoulders. Notice any tension that you're holding in the shoulders, in the arms, and the biceps, and the hands. With your eyes open, notice if you feel pressure in the forehead as you tune into your body. What's happening is that your intuition is activating, it's coming online. Because in order to connect with the body, you need to read with more than just the nervous system. Okay, and this is where we start allowing ourselves to tune in to higher wisdom of the body. Going up into the neck. going up into the head. If we are accepting the truths that we're incapable of controlling others outside of us, the only thing we can control is ourselves, this is what brings freedom from suffering. So going up into the ears, the scalp, the cheekbones, the jaw, the forehead. With your eyes open. Okay, notice how your attention has really just come over here to the body. Okay, we're going to pull that attention to the back of the body and bring full awareness to the back of the body now. All the way down to your ankles, up your legs, up behind the bottom, up to the neck, to the head. And you're going to take your awareness out to your energetic field now with your eyes open. Okay? You're going to visualize a field, an energy, a bubble, a sphere around you made out of something impenetrable, but something that you can see through, that you can easily imagine, but carry around you at all times while you're running errands, at work, interacting with your friends, partners. You constantly have this awareness. Okay, so go ahead and create your sphere around you with your eyes open. It can be made out of anything. And as you create it, you'll notice that it's easier to visualize it in certain areas more than others. And what this is showing you is where the unconscious parts of you are, where we have cords in the body, where we have attachments connecting to the body. So in all the areas that you sense, feel, visualize, know that are open, you're going to just close them. And sense that space. You're doing this with your eyes open. Go ahead and remove any heavy energy that's there within the body. If you feel you have cords, pull them out of your body. And if you're at home, I want you to visualize that you have a vortex outside the nearest window or the nearest wall that goes outside of your house around you. And in that vortex outside of your house, you're going to direct all of these cords into that space. We don't want to reallocate this heavy energy. If you feel it, if you sense it, it's there. So you need to trust. So whatever you sense in your space, go ahead, pull it out and throw it outside of your house. Never let it linger in your room. Never let it linger in your home, in your space, because it can attach to the material things that are around. Sometimes our pets will take it because our pets are healers. They heal us a lot of the time. Okay, or our children may take it because they're extra sensitive and they're like sponges, or other partners. Okay, so go ahead and remove that stuff out of your space. Whatever you can remove with your eyes open, you're going to close this sphere all around you. Breathing deeply. Okay. Notice how it's easier to close your bubble around you as you pull out any of those cords, and you're also going to feel more energized, more present as you do that. Okay? You're calling back your life force back into the body. So with every breath you take, disconnect, and just you can kind of visualize and know that you're disconnecting from every people, place, and thing that you've come in contact with today, kind of cleansing your energetic field. So cutting the cords on their end and pulling that energy back into the body, pulling it back into the body. That chi, that life force begins to come back into the body. Breathing deeply. Very good. Okay, continue to go around your entire body, closing any open space until you're completely closed. Now I want you to get very acquainted with what it feels like to be inside of your bubble of awareness. This is what we will call it. Okay, everything that's inside of this bubble is what you can control. And as you can see, the only thing inside of this bubble is you. You and your energy. You and everything that you're creating. You and everything that you're emanating. So notice that the most compassionate thing for this body is to embody emotions that are constructive and healing to the body, not emotions that are counter-creative and destructive, like fear. Okay, so go ahead and scan your body and notice things that we fear, that we have feared today. What are some things that we have feared today? And fear is any time that we see things as separate from us. Any times that we have wanted to distance ourselves or say, that is separate from me. Take a look at that. How many times have we done that today? With your eyes open, you are reviewing your day. Okay, and you're going to be very quickly taken to those memories because they're going to be in in the muscle memory of your body. Because when we have that sensation of separation, when we embody that, the muscles tense up, usually in the abdomen or the chest or the throat. You'll see anywhere in the midriff of the body, its entire center part of the body will tense up. And you might notice that parts of your back are storing old experiences similar to that. So just notice that with your eyes open. Okay? Acknowledging all of those experiences today. Anytime we feared something today. Is it a lot of times? Just notice that. Anytime that we had self-doubt, anytime that we had anger. Okay, so let's move on to anger. Any times that we were triggered and felt angry about something. Okay, scanning the body. The body stores all of these informations, all of our experiences. When did we feel frustration, triggered by something that happened? Notice it. It is living in your body energetically. You're going to sense it physically, emotionally. It could be a thought. It could be a memory of something that happened earlier today. So go back, look at yourself with your eyes open, acknowledge it. Do you see this level of awareness that you're creating right now? This is such a powerful practice, and I invite you to do this throughout your entire day, as you move through your day, bringing yourself into the present and observing yourself as you're observing yourself in this practice. Just constantly becoming aware of yourself and why we are responding the way we are, why we act the way we are, why we feel the way we do. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go and check into the body. How many times were we sad today? How many times did we feel lonely? Lonely and sad. Go ahead and tune into that. Did we feel lonely and sad today at any time? Scan the body. Notice it. It might be something that we may not have even realized that triggered these emotions in us. It might have been even feelings of wanting to be close to someone else, or connection, or wanting to communicate something, or wanting to express a thought. Any times that we had those feelings and felt like it wasn't reciprocated, either by our partners, friends, our community. Any time that it felt like we didn't belong. Breathing deeply. Very good. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at all the times that we wanted to say something, that we wanted to communicate and express something, and we weren't able to express it. Go ahead and take a look at that. Maybe even just put into words our own emotions or our own observations. Take a look at yourself throughout today. When has that occurred? Okay. Now I want you to take a look at all the times that we doubted our intuition. We didn't listen or we didn't acknowledge our intuition. Anytime we're fighting our intuition, rejecting the intuition. Go ahead and see how many times today have we done that? Since the moment you wake up to the moment you are here with me now. And if you are waking up in the world somewhere today, you're looking at yesterday. How many times did we reject the intuitive messages that were coming in? Whether it was a channeled message, whether it was an intuition about a decision we're making. And just notice how the rejection of that intuitive information affected us. Did it affect you emotionally? Did it affect you physically? Just observing, learning about yourself. Very good. Breathing deeply. Breathing deeply. And with every breath you take, you're going to take yourself back now, and you're going to take a look at yourself and how you feel in this moment. Now that you've acknowledged these emotions throughout your day with your eyes open once again, go ahead and notice anyone that you've come in contact with today that you felt drained around or you felt depleted energetically. You're going to see everyone that you've come in contact with today directly in front of you. This includes everyone, children, pets, families, friends. If you saw a lot of people today, just put them in a crowd. The mind already knows, the higher self already knows, but the intention is that we're asking the entire body to become aware of where we had unconscious or uneven exchanges with some other organism. Okay? So as you become aware of that, you're going to see them in front of you, and with your eyes open, you're going to just visualize cutting on their end, and go ahead and pull those cords out of your body as you call in your life force back into the body, regenerating, re-energizing, rejuvenating the physical body. With your eyes open, you're just releasing all of that out. Okay? Releasing all of it out. If it stirs up emotions in the body, that's a place, an invitation for you to do more work with that memory. So if that does come up, I want you to sit with that memory and begin to work with it. Okay, go ahead and for the moment pull out everything that you need to pull out. Calling back your life force, and just notice how you feel like a weight has been lifted from the body. A weight has been lifted from the body. Very good. Okay. With your eyes open, you're going to go ahead and see the first chakra. You're going to close it down to the size of a dime, and you're going to spin it as fast as possible. We're going to visualize clearing out that root chakra with your eyes open. Clearing out that root chakra with your eyes open. Going up to the sacral. Closing that chakra, spinning it with your eyes open, releasing any heaviness from the sacral chakra. Front and back of the body. With the solar, go ahead and close that chakra and spin it as fast as possible, eliminating any kind of debris. And when you close it, you'll be able to see the debris more clearly. So this is a great opportunity for you. The chakra may have closed and all the debris might be around it. Okay, it's because it's a holographic system that represents actually the layers of your body. So as you clear that out, you're clearing out the layers of your body. So clearing them out completely. Okay, you're going to go up to the heart. Go ahead and open that heart chakra, clearing out any heaviness from the heart. And if we were triggered by cutting cords with anyone, this is a great moment to clear any of those contractual agreements that were made in the heart chakra, front and back of the body. Clear it out. Very good. You're going to go up to the throat now, spinning it as fast as possible, opening up that throat, clearing out any of that stagnant information in regards to our communication and expression. Okay. You're going to go up to the third eye, expand your third eye front and back, clearing out any limiting beliefs around or doubt of our intuition. Clear all of that out. Okay. And you're going to go up to your crown with your eyes open. This is all with your eyes open. In your crown, you're going to fill it in. You're going to activate the crown, spinning it as fast as possible. Illuminate the crown. Beginning to set the intention that we're in alignment in all areas of our life. And you're going to shine the crown light in order to break contracts with people, places, and things that are no longer in alignment with you. With your eyes open. Okay. You're going to see a room now that represents your karmic contracts for the day. All of the agreements that we have made on all dimensional planes, conscious and unconscious, in order to experience this moment, because it's not just this moment. We're living many things simultaneously. All of those things are written within this room filled with contracts. So as you see those contracts, I want you to shine your crown light on top of those contracts and erase everything that is no longer in alignment with you. All of that is karmic cyclical patterns that are running down our ancestral lineage, fear-based beliefs, limiting beliefs that we are informing all of our emotions, our experiences, our actions. So if we're done with some of those things, we're going to clear all of that out. And I highly advise doing this meditation in the morning before you start your day, because you shift your vibration in a really powerful way. But when you do this before you go to sleep, this is an amazing way to begin the journey into dream time and your Akashic travels or astral plane, because you're coming in with a higher vibration. And this is what we want to do. So as you clear out all of those vibrational contracts to experience in the physical and in the non-physical, you're going to fill that room up with the illumination of your crown. Fill it up. Okay, setting the intention that instead of being in the law of accident, we're now awakened. We're online now. We're coming into the state of co-creation with intention. The intention is the highest expression, integrating into the body. So that's a whole different playing field, whole different way of experiencing life. So as you fill up that room with that color, I want you to take a really nice deep breath and take a moment to ground in this new vibrational frequency. Okay, you're going to go ahead and activate the 8th chakra, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, 12th and the 13th, and you're going to connect up to source. Don't spend too much time trying to visualize anything in detail. We're working on way higher levels than the physical. So the physical has to catch up with the speed of light, in other words, right? Those things happen instantaneously. All of this work is happening instantaneously. The only reason why it doesn't happen is because we doubt. So we're just removing all doubt, and this is creation that you and I are doing right now. So as you connect up to source, you're going to bring that white light down over your body, and you're going to anchor it powerfully into the center core of the earth and feel that white light moving through your body. You're going to see with your eyes open the pillar of white light that goes down through the crown of your head, down your spine, down the center core of the body, readjusting all of the organs in the body into perfect health, readjusting every cell in the body into perfect health. Okay, clearing out any kind of toxins in the body, any impurities that we took on from the day out of the body. And everything is sent down to the center of the earth. And the earth, as you know, recycling mechanism, turning death into life, allows us to also heal the earth with this cosmic source energy that we bring in through the body. We're anchoring light. So right now, if you were to look at yourself from above your city, you literally see a thread of light that begins to brighten in your home. This is someone that has come online. Okay, so as you begin to feel that white light, you're going to grow it. You're going to create a gigantic protective field around your house, just bringing the awareness, anchoring that light in the home. Okay, surrounding the house in a golden sphere of light, filling the house with the color gold as you activate your space. And this is all done with your eyes open. You guys are doing incredible. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and open the root chakra now. Open it up back into a balanced state. 2 to 3 inches wide. Breathing deeply. And just take a moment to sit in stillness here as you begin to open that root. Notice how the energy is different now. Okay. If you want, you can close your eyes for this part, just to feel and connect with this stillness. And you're going to go up to the second chakra. Go ahead and open it back up. Anytime that you're triggered or you feel incredibly overwhelmed by emotions, you can close your chakras in that moment. Protect and close the chakras to bring yourself back into neutrality. And once you're in neutrality, you can begin to work with what it is that triggered you by now taking that step back. This is an energetic callback. You're calling back your life force into the body. Okay, this is the level of awareness that we want to play it right now. We are actively working through our day, not just when we come to sit down on the meditation mat or whatever it is. It's constant throughout the day. Okay, so go up to your solar plexus. Go ahead and open that back up. Okay, and just anchor that light through your body. Anchor that light. Breathing deeply. Breathing deeply. Beautiful. Very good. All right, I want to welcome all you guys back into the room. Of course, you have your eyes open. You guys did incredible, and just notice how the energy feels so much more uplifting. And when you go to sleep, remember to ground, to protect your space, to anchor yourself. And as you go into sleep, set the intention that your journeys through the night, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, is in the highest vibrational expression. So we're beginning to wake up consciously through the day, and that if you do this practice every day, it goes into dream time. You become aware in dream time. Within the first few minutes of the dream, if you are in the middle of I don't know, Disneyland or some fantasy place, you will become aware of yourself. You will be like, oh, am I grounded? Am I connected? Am I aware of my body? Because you're training yourself, that awareness. This is what we want. And we want to begin to navigate those levels on a very high awareness. Okay. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for joining me today. What a gift it is to share with you. I'm going to be doing a very, very special meditation on the 20th for the full moon, just a couple days away. The moon is already amazing tonight. If you have a chance to feel that energy tonight, that's amazing. Make sure to take your crystals out for cleaning. Your jewelry, your crystal jewelry that you have, take it out in the moonlight and neutralize all of that. But we'll be doing a great practice for that. So much love to you, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Andres, thank you so much, Andre. Muchas gracias, Andre. Larissa, much love to you. Aussie Angie, hello Geraldine, and all you wonderful people in the chat. So good to have you, Angie. Alaya Kota, thank you, Geraldine. Kindly thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to have a wonderful day. I'm so happy to hear that, Mary Vaughn. You deserve it. Aussie Angie says, hi, Mary Bon. I was late. Definitely check out the replay. Larissa says, I'm struggling keeping my eyes closed. First time doubts meditation with eyes open. Wow, the struggle is real with your eyes open. Keep me going. Thank you. Nice. I know it is, but this is a great way to bring the practice into your everyday life, because then what happens is that we separate spirituality from real life. And that sometimes is a struggle that can delay us years in our practice. So we have to really bring this into our everyday. Okay. Cedric says, I experienced a clearing and a great release of blockages from the heart to solar plexus area. Much needed. Thank you. Beautiful. Yes. Yes. Northern Light Star. Thank you so much, Geraldine. Sweet dreams. Much love to you, Northern Star. You're amazing. Pono says, in golden light, yes, divine love. When I was clearing, I saw white lights moving up from the corner of my eyes. What does that mean? Amazing. So that's so great. So you're literally seeing what energy you're moving around you. So tune in more. Like the more that you begin to notice things around you, don't get scared or don't get too identified with it. If you were to really open your eyes into the real life that we're living, all of you would be pretty overwhelmed. But we are swimming in all kinds of things. Okay, we have entities, we have beings, we have auras, we have lights around us. And this is why when people level their high level of spirituality, they begin to have contact with ETs. This is why techniques like CE5 work. So not specifically that CE5, but any kind of meditation practice that you begin to access, you begin to lift the veils in which you can begin to see UFOs, ETs, beings, all these things, because the world we really live in when we're awake, it's something else. It's something else. And right now, the vibrational frequencies are moving to a place where the veils are lifting, allowing us to see more. Okay, so this is the direction that we're going to. Unity consciousness is not just for the internal work and the idea that we're coming together as a whole, but for ourselves with the universe. So the whole topic of, interdimensional contact is really coming online for that reason. Okay, much love. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.